So Johnny, what did getting knocked out for the first time teach you about yourself?
It taught me what I already knew about myself. I didn't learn anything new. I knew what was inside me. And I knew that when the shit hits the fan, when things go wrong, I've got a great network of people around me and I believe in myself and I can make things better. So I was thinking in my head, when you just asked me that question, what have I learned new or what did it teach me? It just reaffirmed what I already knew about myself, that when things go wrong, the best character is shown in what you do once things have hit the bottom. And yeah, nothing's changed for me because what I knew about myself still exists.
So where did that come from, Johnny? Like for a lot of people, getting knocked out for the first time might have had a real negative impact on them. You've obviously got a bit of a mindset where you've been able to sort of take that literally on the chin and get back up. Like where does that come from?
It comes from knowing the occupation that I'm in. I'm a heavyweight boxer. People have been knocked out before me who are much better than me. People after me will be knocked out who are much better than me. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, people of that ilk, Vladimir Klitschko. But what you can't let yourself do in the profession of heavyweight boxing is let that get you down, because it's part and parcel of the game. And where does it come from in terms of my self-belief to be able to get back into the ring? It comes from my family. It comes from my mum and dad. It comes from my granddad. It comes from what I've been taught and how I've been raised. And without sounding like an elitist in that way, as a boxer, boxing is a sport which everyone should get involved in some capacity, but it does take a special individual to be able to go in there and face the music, basically. If you haven't trained hard enough, if you haven't done things correctly, if you haven't got your tactics right, you'll get knocked out in front of thousands of people. So it's a very, very high stakes game. And it's not just about the getting knocked out in front of people. It's more for me about letting the people down that have helped you get to that point. So your training team, your family, your managers, that's what was gutting for me after the loss. But you process that. I mean, you can't have the highs of beating Babic in 30 seconds, the highs of going to Saudi Arabia, having a hard-fought, close fight, Vegas, going to these different places, Monte Carlo now. You can't have all of that experience of good without having some bad, because otherwise what's the point of the journey, you know?
Now let's talk about the fight. So it was a rematch against Dave Allen. You were last on the podcast about a year ago. That was just off the back of
the Saudi fight.
You said a rematch in the UK. Dave got the win on the night. What happened that night, Johnny?
I got beat, well and truly beat, and that's what could happen in the game. Could I have prepared in a better way? This has been well documented now for the last 6-7 months. I don't think I prepared as well as I could. We was on a certain page of the tactics that I should go out about the business after the closeness of the first fight, which was a fight that could have gone Dave's way. It went my way. But I tried to change too much instead of trying to harness what I already have and then making that a better version of itself. But
so what did you try to change?
The way that I was boxing, on the back foot. I was trying to not get involved too much. But the thing that allowed me to be successful in the first fight is because I was getting involved. Yes, my defense wasn't great at times. Yes, I got caught. But the pressure that I was applying was also wearing Dave out at the same time. So what I did in the second fight is try and box on the back foot after not really ever doing that in my first handful of fights, to then try and box in a different way that you're used to. You're going to get tired pretty quickly. It's like you trying to tell you to do the podcast in a different way. You're not going to be as effective as you normally are because you've got a natural way of doing things. So yeah, you live and you learn. The nature of the game. I mean, you can lose a football match and you can go home and it's slightly different, or a rugby match or a cricket match. But in our game, the reason why it's so exciting is if you lose, you can get chinned, and it's happened to people before me and it's happened to people after me. So I'm better for the experience now.
So tell me about that conversation with, I don't know, your coach, your trainer, where after fight one, you've obviously got the win.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positives from that first fight.
Yep.
Like, was there a conversation in the build up to the next fight where we're going to do things slightly differently then?
Yeah, like I didn't even have to take the rematch. Probably if I was a bit cleverer or a little bit sort of like, let's swerve this one, let's go another route. Because all it says on your record after the first one is W to Johnny Fisher. But It was part of me. I like my honourable films. I like my films where it's about having courage and being honest. And yeah, I was on holiday in Prague actually before I came here to see you, and I sort of made my mind up with my coach at the time, Mark Tibbs, and Sonny Cannon, my strength and conditioner, and my dad as well. We said we've got to do it again. And who knows, if I've done it again and done it in the same vein as what we'd done before. The first fight, we'd done so much lactate tolerance work and cardiovascular work. The second time round, we sort of tried to do it all based around sparring, but the sparring wasn't intense. The sparring was based on let's move around the ring, let's try not to get too involved. So if you're training in a way where you're not getting involved too much, and you're training with less intensity, your output in the fight obviously is going to be impacted by that. And by round 2, round 3, I was shattered because I was trying to box on the back foot. And it's so hard to do that if that's not your natural way.
Did you feel underprepared going into that fight?
No, I thought psychologically, you just, when you're going into a fight, you have supreme confidence no matter what you do. And you never questioned it. You never think that's the wrong thing to do. You've got your team. You sort of made a general decision, a consensus that this is the way to go forward, and you have faith in the plan. But Sonny did say to me he had doubts, and I remember it now. You sort of like put it to the back of your mind when you're in camp. You just like, this is what I'm doing, this is the plan. But he said we've got to maybe do a bit more of this cardiovascular training, this bit of lactate tolerance work. Like, we didn't do a lot of sprint work at all. We didn't do any assault bike that we normally do, any lactate tolerance work. Our strength work wasn't up to scratch because it was it was too relaxed. It was too, and that's my fault as the captain of the ship. I should have been a bit more vocal. And that's a coming of age thing. Like, I turned 27 yesterday. And the beautiful thing about it is it's led me to this point in my career where I'm with Tony Sims. And Tony Sims is a world-renowned coach, a world-class coach. He's had multiple world champions. And yeah, now when I was saying I need to get fitter, I need to do a bit more of this work, it's almost like when I'm in training camp, it's absolutely brutal now. It's absolutely brutal because Tony Sims' boys, they're always super, super fit. And I realise now the contrast of how I was training before to now is a different level of intensity and hard work. And I literally have no energy to do anything else when I'm in training camp, which is how it should be.
You may have noticed that we've recently rebranded the podcast. The good news is that offer of a free coffee on me is still available. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to pause the podcast right now, go into YouTube, hit that subscribe button, then go over to Spotify, hit that follow button. It'll take 30 seconds of your time and it's absolutely free. And then if you see me in person and you can show me that you're following the podcast on both platforms, I'll buy you a coffee as a thank you. Thank you for continuing to support the podcast. It means the world to me. Was there a point in the fight you knew it wasn't going your way?
I think, and my dad said this as well, he was watching from the outside and it looked like I was doing all right for the first few rounds. Like I was jabbing, moving, but I sort of did know in the back of my head, Dave's got a lot of ring craft, he's a strong guy, and I wasn't really wearing him out. And my mum said to my dad on the side of the ring, oh, he's doing well, like I'm catching him doing this. And my dad said, he's just delaying the inevitable here, the way that he's boxing. It's like, you're trying to keep someone away from you, keeping someone away, but you're not really giving anything. I didn't really commit on anything or try and throw 5 or 6 shots. I was just pop in. And if you're Shakur Stevenson or Floyd Mayweather, you can probably do that. But I'm Johnny Fisher, who's had 10 amateur fights, who's got a lot of ability and raw power, and I've got the ability to put shots together, but I wasn't in a position then, and still won't be for a good year or two, to be able to have that ring craft to box on the back foot. But you live and you learn, and now we're trying different things. I've gone to Tony and he's showing me actually how, if you are on the ropes, what position your feet should be in, how you should roll out, how you should use your position to get into a better place. And I wasn't really thinking about that ever before. The ring generalship, the ring craft, and I didn't have that. I'm still learning how to use it now, but I've noticed in my sparring when I was gearing up for my next fight, which got, for whatever reason, postponed or was cancelled, before this camp, I was sparring all the time in zone 5 on my heart rate monitor, which is really hard to maintain. Zone 4, and it ends up all the time in zone 5. Now, it's like a mental switch that's gone off in my brain now, after the last fight as well. This is literally like the last couple of months, and I'm in zone 2 and zone 3, and I could just keep going and going and going. And that's more of a mental thing. I think there's a mental pressure lifted after the Monaco fight. I mean, that first round, that was just like a signifier and a personification of all the pressure that I'd built up in my own head for myself, thinking about the comeback, thinking about I've got to impress, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And I've never been like that, but I just think the pressure and the circumstance I was under, I had to come through that moment, and I've come through it. I got the knockout in the 4th round, and I really do feel like that was a turning point in my career now. And I'm excited. Boxing's an exciting game, and I'm grateful to be involved in it and still be going strong and still being sought after by everyone in the game. So I'm excited.
One of the reasons I started this podcast, Johnny, is to get people on like yourself to tell me about their experiences. And it's like things that I probably will never experience in my life, but I'm really interested and curious to know what that actually feels like in real life. So I'll probably never be knocked out by a heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
Like, how does that actually feel? Or is it something you actually don't feel because of the adrenaline?
You don't feel it. Getting punched in the head, you don't feel it in the fight. You might feel a body shot in the fight because that's like an involuntary, your liver's being moved around in your stomach. But your head, your body would just, when you get knocked out, it just switches off.
It's strange watching it back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not strange because I'm a heavyweight boxer. That's what this sport is. You get knocked out. I mean, as I said, Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko, Joe Frazier, like these people, George Foreman. Everyone's done it to someone or they've had it done to them.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the game we're in. And once you process that in your brain, who really gives a fuck? Not me. I don't care. And if you do care, you're in the wrong game, because every bloke who's over 17 stone is going to have the ability to do some serious, serious damage. But it's a privilege. You've got to view it. I know it's an antithesis, but it's a privilege to be able to go in and have a fight in front of thousands of people and be paid to do it. And you can't forget to be lucky. I'm healthy. The moment my health deteriorates, we know it's time to call it quits. But I'm in a fantastic position. Just turned 27, and we're in a position now where people are calling the name a little bit more. People are fancying a bit more of that. But the hard thing for them is, without me, there's not much of an appetite, or there's not a crowd that a lot of them can get galvanized to go and watch them fight. So we're in a top position now, and the best is yet to come.
Mate, you were quite emotional in the immediate aftermath of the defeat to Dave. Where did that come from?
As I said, you don't like letting people down, no matter what. I just felt, I haven't really, but in the moment, you feel like you let your family down, the training team, the people that have come and spent 40 quid or 500 quid to come and watch you fight, the people that come and support you in the pubs, people that are like defending your name when you're talking. It's a rivalry, isn't it? You don't want to lose, but it's important to show that emotion sometimes, you know. There's times and a place to do it. And I had all them great people in my changing room. I had Adam Morley, my manager. I had Jess Harding, Mark and Jimmy Tibbs, who I'm no longer with, but they've always have a spot in my heart because they've seen me through in the beginning part of my career. My mum and dad, my brothers, Harry S. Jam, like so many great people, Archie Slaymaker, people that are invested in my career. And it was an emotional moment because everyone talks about when you lose, your change room is very empty, but my change room was full of people. So it was quite a poignant moment in that respect. My changing room wasn't just me and my dad or me and my trainer. It was filled with great people that are invested in this journey with me as well. Jess S. Jam as well. Shout out to her. She was in there. And it gives you strength when you know that wasn't your best performance. You know that wasn't your best account of yourself. You know that's not what you're about on the Romford Ball. I have to get involved. I have to be physical. I have to be attritional. So it motivates you when you take a step back sometimes. And it's like if you go and chat up a girl at the bar and you get told, no, I'm not interested. Like, all right, you might hit the weights a little bit harder the next day, or you might punch the bag a bit more. But yeah, it's a little bit of, I've got a bit between my teeth now. And I'm excited.
What do you remember about those days immediately following the fight?
I went to Wimpy, which is like a little burger restaurant with like you get a plate and they do it like proper old school diner style. Just spent a lot of time with my family. Went to Mallorca with them, and honestly, it's not that bad. It's not bad. It's like I didn't feel anything. I weren't distraught. I weren't upset. I weren't sad. I was just like, what's the next thing?
But you must have been feeling something. There must have been some
when I wake up
negative feeling
on a Sunday morning, on the Monday morning. You're like, oh fucking, that really happened, didn't it? Oh, But honestly, I didn't dwell on it. I think I'm a bit of an overthinker before things happen. But once it's happened, it's like, all right, let's deal with it. Honestly, like.
So you're saying there, Johnny, that before the fight, you had thought ahead to a scenario where you win and you lose, and you'd already sort of planned, like, this is what I'm going to do in both of those scenarios?
No, I think overthinking in terms of dwelling on. There's a lot of media noise before the fight, etc., and people like. And I took myself away purposely to get away from that. Come off social media. Didn't go on Instagram, and that's the overthinking part. I think sometimes it's better to be involved in the fire. I took myself out of that intense situation and maybe sort of softened myself a little bit because I was in my own little bubble. Maybe sometimes it is better to be in the fire of all the noise, of all the people saying this, saying that about you, and that motivates you. That motivates me. That's what I learned. Taking myself away out of the firing line, that didn't get me in that combative state of mind. I was in Fuerteventura training at a leisurely pace. That's not good preparation, you know what I mean? That was the overthinking. Overthinking from, right, I've got to be the wrong for ball. No, we don't need that. We need to box on the back foot and float like Muhammad Ali. That's the overthinking. But once something happens, like whether it's you lose a boxing match, whether it's you lose all your money or you lose your car or you have a bad accident, it's happened. So I'm good at, once things happen, I can process it and deal with it in my brain. I'm good at thinking formulaically once something's happened. So I think that's one of my strengths. You get beat in a boxing match. What's the end of the world? Who really gives a fuck? No one. Not me.
I'm still really curious to know where this mindset comes from, Johnny, because I don't think most people have it.
It's my dad.
And that's what I was going to try and draw on. I think I've heard you and your dad previously talk about potentially some like falling into financial difficulties and going through a hard time and getting through that.
Yeah.
Do you think, trying to connect the dots here, do you think that's going through something like that as a family and seeing your dad go through that sort of shaped your mindset here?
100% right, Chris. I was about to lead on to, like, whenever we've had family difficulties or financial difficulties, my dad has got that attitude of, so what does that matter, Johnny? Like, just say, like, people, if something goes wrong for someone financially in our household, what does that matter? You'll get that back. Or it's always like, think about it in the grand scheme of things. And God has a lot to do with it for me as well. I believe in God, in Jesus Christ, and this world, everything is insignificant. It's really not that important. All that matters in this world is living as best right life you can be. You will make mistakes. You will sin. You will do things wrong. That's why we're on this world, because this world isn't perfect and we weren't born with divinity like Jesus Christ was, but we have the ability to make our own decisions and free will, and we have to learn ourselves. And yes, so I think two of them influences, it comes from my dad, the fact that he's a practical bloke. Things have gone wrong in the past and you just shoulder it, and it's that old mentality of, like, stiff upper lip, get on with it. And there's always a better day around the corner. And there's a lot of people in this world who are in a lot worse position than we were back in the day, or like I was after losing a boxing match. Like, what's the big problem? Like, I've lost a boxing match. I'm healthy. I'm okay. Get to go again.
You've got food on your plate. You've got
food
shelter.
on my plate. I've got a roof on my head.
You've got family
I've got a dog
around
downstairs.
you.
I've got my mum and dad up over the road. Like, life is a beautiful thing. And I think in this world, sometimes with the availability of everything, we're spoiled to death with having everything at our fingertips. We sometimes lose gratitude for the simple things in life. And that's one thing at the turn of this year I told myself. And there was one video with Sir Chris Hoy, GB gold medalist. I watched him growing up at the Olympics in 2008, I think 2012 as well. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he's got stage 4 terminal cancer and his wife's got MS. That's real problems, you know? And his kids are not going to be able to grow up and see him. And he said on his thing, just live in the moment. Enjoy the small things. Stop worrying about things that can and can't happen and what all of this is about. It's not important. What are you worrying about? Enjoy life. We can breathe clean air. We can go down here, me and you. We can have a bit of food or a coffee. That's what life's all about, the simple pleasures. And you look at the most successful men in the world or women in the world, and they get to a certain point in life and they just try and simplify their life. They don't, like, the most important things in life are the simple things, having a chat with one of your mates or being on holiday with your brothers. So enjoy the moment. That's what I've got to say to people who are watching this.
I hate when podcasts get interrupted by a long ad read, so I'm going to keep this one short. If you'd like to trial a virtual assistant for absolutely free for 2 weeks, go to our sponsor's website, www.remotey.com.au/contact, and enter the code MOMENTS. Someone from the team will get in touch with you. That's a virtual assistant for absolutely free for 2 weeks to do all those jobs you don't want to do. The sponsor's website address and that promo code are in the show notes. Thank you. It's coming back to the mindset thing. I think it comes down to probably what you've had role modeled to you as a child. So you've grown up in a household with your dad. If you've seen those sort of behaviors role modeled as you've grown up, that seeps through into you and your brothers and your sister, right?
It does, 100%. And that's important because a lot of people don't have them role models. And that's why it's important. The Romford Bull Army isn't just about me being a boxer and trying to earn money and sell tickets and all that. It's about being an active member of the community, because you don't know who you're going to influence or who you're going to help. Because a lot of people don't have a good dad or a good mum or a good older brother or sister. And that's what motivates me as well, because it's bigger than just boxing. If you can leave this career and you've helped 1 or 2 or 3 young children or young adults go on the right path, that's what life's about as well. It's bigger than just me. Yeah.
I know that you're good friends with Dave Allen.
Yeah.
And after the first fight, there's those lovely images of you both in the change room after sort of sitting down and having a chat. Did you speak to Dave much after the second fight?
I went up to train with him and Jamie Moore for a few days.
After the fight?
Up in Manchester. Done a bit of work up there. And I wouldn't say we're not close mates, but we're both competitors. We're both sportsmen.
There's a respect there.
There's a respect. Like me and Dave lives up in Manchester or Doncaster. I live down here. But there's a respect and there's a mutual liking to each other, because we're both 2 fierce competitors who've had 2 good fights and we've entertained people. And the 3rd fight will happen at some point in due course. But who am I to not respect an opponent, whether I beat him or not? Everyone I respect. When I win, I win. When I lose, I lose. And you're doing the most honest and noble thing you can do as a bloke, which is go and have a tear up in the ring in front of a few thousand people.
What did Eddie say after the fight?
He just said that watching you in there, that is just not how you box. That is not you.
Did Eddie know you were going into this fight with this new strategy?
No. And I think I've sort of interpreted what I had to do, and I've taken it to an extreme. I took it to an extreme of, instead of you being a bit more like boxing at your range and letting your hands go in a sensible manner, I went to just not letting my hands go at all. And I've taken away my best asset for me, which is throwing combination punches.
So for someone who's not really clued up on boxing, Johnny, is a simple way to explain what happened in this fight. Your natural instinct and as a fighter would be more of aggressive front foot throwing
boxer.
Combos. The strategy for this fight was to fight a bit more defensively on the back foot, and that's sort of where it went wrong.
And sort of wear someone out or wear the other opponent out. But one thing we're missing is that Dave Allen may not be the most aesthetically looking or fit looking bloke. But
he's not AJ, but I know what you mean.
That's not what it's about in boxing. Yeah. Dave, you could probably say, right, do 20 rounds of sparring and he'll be able to do it like he's riding a bike, because he's got that level of experience that I just don't have. I got completely old man in there because I don't have that experience of ringcraft yet. I had 10 amateur fights and then I've had 14 or 15 professional fights. So I've had 20, 25 fights in my career. It's just a learning curve that I've got to come over, and it was my time to have a learning curve.
So what else did Eddie say? He said that didn't look like you in there. What else?
He just said, "This is not the end. This is the beginning. Now this is where you've come through your apprenticeship, your tutelage as a young naive boxer, and now we know you've got unbelievable power. You've got heart. You've got resilience, because you showed in that first fight that when you are fit and firing from all cylinders, when things do go wrong, you can get back up and you can come out firing in the rounds 8, 9, 10. So the omens are good, and he had a positive outlook on it because he's seen this before. Barry Hearn as well, went and met him, done a bit of fishing with him, and he had a positive outlook as well. So
Barry Hearn's one of these guys that fascinates me.
Yeah,
Johnny, what was that like going fishing with Barry after?
Barry Hearn is just not just where we live locally, but he's a legend up and down this country. I mean, he is the working class bloke who turned it into hundreds of millions of pounds, and he's good friends with my close friend and confidant in Jess Harding, who used to box for Barry Hearn back in the day. So Jess has a lot of affinity with my position. He was a young guy, got into the boxing game, and Barry Hearn was his promoter. Now it's me, and Eddie Hearn's my promoter from the same neck of the woods. And Barry is just, it's like he's got that feel like he's like, I miss my granddad terribly, but he reminds me of my granddad. And Jess Harding does as well. I've got a good affinity with people of that generation, you know, and they've got wisdom. And just because someone's older doesn't mean that they are clever or they know more, but they've been through more. And you have to take the advice of your elders. And a lot of youngsters in our generation can learn from that as well.
So what advice did Eddie and Barry give you post the fight?
We just need to, we had to take the chances we got there, because financially it was a lot of money, but there's no rush. There's no rush in this game. As a heavyweight at 25, 26, whatever it was at the time, you've got 10, 15 years left in the game if you want it. So let's not rush. Let's take it slow. You've got an unbelievable fan base, and let's build properly now. Let's build it with, we get another bite of the cherry. So let's enjoy the journey. Let's enjoy the process of seeing you develop into what you're like when you're now 28, 29, 30, 31, when you go into your prime as a professional boxer, because you've done unbelievably to get. I was a uni student who started boxing again because I saw a good bloke from Dagenham who was at uni as well doing some pads in Zane, and I don't know how I ended up in this position where I was selling out arenas, but I got here, and it's unbelievable. And this is what Sonny Cannon actually said to me. He said, Johnny, if you look back through all this, right, and then you start from the beginning, and then you get given a golden, like a fortune ball, like a Wheel of Fortune style thing, and you can look through the golden, what's it called, magic ball, and you can
Crystal
say,
ball.
Crystal ball, and then you can say, look, you're going to win your first 14 fights, or whatever it is, 13 fights. You're going to have all these people come and watch you. You're going to have all this success. You're going to train here. You're going to spar these people. You're going to win this fight in 30 seconds. But at the end of it, you're going to lose, and you're going to get knocked out. And you're going to make all this money as well while you do it. Are you going to say, no, don't worry about doing this journey? Or are you going to say, fuck it, yeah, let's have a go at that. Don't care if I get knocked out. We can go again after. It's a pretty simple answer. When you put it into that perspective, you can't go through life just going bang, 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 bang. In life, in business, in whatever you do, you're going to fall, and you're going to fall flat on your face. There's many men who fell flat on their face before me, and there will be after. So, yeah.
I think what matters in that scenario is what you do next, right?
It's what you do next, is how you let things define you. And I'm talking about not myself here. I'm talking about all the people I've got around me. I'm blessed to have these people that speak with such clarity in them situations and speak from such experience. And I think that's what's carried me through to this point. I had no right to be a professional boxer, let alone be on the stage that I am when I first started boxing. I was a rugby player who boxed a bit when he was young, from the age of 6, 7 to about 14, 15, had 6 amateur fights as a junior and 4 as a senior. And then I've been hoisted into sparring the Joe Joyces and the Hergoviches and the Tyson Furies, and got to this point. So why not? Why can't I go again now and get to the next level? I've got from there to here. Why can't I go from here to there, or to there? So we'll go again. And I'm going again, because we had that amazing victory in Monaco, another exciting fight for everyone. And I really feel like we're turning a good page now in the career.
The decision to change your trainers after the Dave Allen fight, Johnny, where did that come from?
It didn't come quickly, and it didn't come easily. It was like 6, 7, 8 weeks after just dwelling on it. And Mark's a brilliant coach. He's a friend of mine, and Jimmy Tibbs as well is an absolute legend of the boxing game. But I just felt like sometimes in life, in a career, whether it be boxing or any other aspect, sometimes you need to freshen things up and change things up. And I couldn't ignore that anymore. It's the same with a girlfriend. Like, you know when it's not right anymore. And the boxing trainer is sort of like that in a way. You're like, you're not doing anyone any favours if you stay in that same situation. You need to move on. And it's done me good, because I know I'm in a great place now. Tony Sims trains Conor Benn. He trains boys coming through in Jimmy Sains, George Goodard, Craig Richards. He's trained world champions in John Ryder, Darren Barker, many, many more. Trained Anthony Joshua as well. And it's led me to this point. So the decision had to be made, and it was made in the most correct way you could possibly make it, which is seeing Mark face to face. We had a little chat, we had a coffee in the local cafe, and it was no hard feelings. It was just, I said to Mark, look, we got it wrong collectively. No one's blaming. I'm not pointing fingers saying my trainer done this wrong or my strength and conditioner should have done that. It's my fault. I take responsibility. And if I want to move forward, I've got to do the things that I think need to be right. And part of that is me having a fresh start.
Is that a difficult conversation to have?
It's not difficult because you're only speaking honestly. And when you sometimes saying no or saying things that are hard to say, you feel so free after it because you've laid it on the table. What's hard is when you're trying to be guarded or say something that's not genuine. So when you're just speaking honestly, and that's what I try and do, just speak from the heart. You're not hiding anything. And it's a difficult situation to come clean about that when you're first talking to someone. But when you lay it on the table to someone after 2-3 minutes and you're speaking to someone who's reasonable and honourable themselves in Mark, it's pretty simple, really. It's quite easy. But I can understand why people think that would be hard to do because it's quite frank and it's quite direct. And sometimes in the past, I've found it hard to myself to bring myself to that. But I'm at that stage in my life now. People value honesty. And I want people to be honest with me, so I'll be honest with them.
Yeah. I think the takeaway there is if you've got a difficult conversation to have in life, it could be about anything. It could be a difficult conversation with your partner, a difficult conversation with a colleague at work. I think just being really honest with them, as uncomfortable as it is, if you adopt a really honest approach, that's probably the way to make it easier. It'd still be uncomfortable.
It's still going to be hard. Still going to be hard, but what's the alternative? It's harder to live in a world of deceit and lies than it is to be in a world of truth.
Or if you're in that position where you're kind of like dancing around the topic a little bit.
It's the worst, just like tiptoeing and trying to, I'll worry about that then. But no, as Apollo said in Rocky 3, there is no tomorrow. Just do it now. Just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the build up to that next fight then, Johnny. So you switched trainers. So what do you do differently in the lead up to the comeback fight?
We get up at 5-6 in the morning a few times a week, which is brutal in itself. You train at 7, you run up these horrible hills, you pull sleds on your back, you go to bed for an hour and you come back to the gym and do your training in the afternoon. You spar 3 times a week. We put altitude masks on. That's just the physical side of it.
So what are you trying to do as part of doing all of that? What are you actually
So the difference is thinking about what I'm doing in the ring as well. So the general shit, the craft that we're talking about. So if I get to this position in the ring, what should I do with my feet? The first thing Tony done with me when I went to the gym is he said, just shadow box for me for 1 minute. Show me how you shape up. And he said, just like you're walking on a tightrope, Johnny, your feet are too close together. You've been knocking people out just with your arms, punching from there. Rotational power and your legs and your hips, that's where it all comes from. And that's the more sustainable way of being powerful because you use the bigger muscles. You're not just using your arms to generate power. And that was a big part of it, was just changing my stance. And that was really difficult for the first 6-7 weeks. I was sweating so much just from shadow boxing 4 rounds and doing 4 rounds on the pads. But you get used to it and it builds a new pathway in your brain. It takes a while to do that. But that was it. It was also, well, in terms of away from boxing, in terms of what was like as a human being, not much changed, to be honest. I think it was just having a better routine as a fighter and having a bit more of a schedule. Like Tony will send through on a Sunday night, right, Johnny, this is the plan for this week. And then next week will be the next plan. Everything was mapped out. And that's how I've always worked in life before boxing and outside of boxing. I like a bit of routine when I'm training. I think that's essential and maybe lacked that a bit with Mark. Mark had other strengths as well that he brought to the table. His fire, his ability in the corner is unbelievable, but every coach has something else that the strengths that they bring to the table. Tony's a more calmer head. He's more calculated with what he does, and that probably does me good because it allows me to be the best version of myself, I believe.
Sounds like you did a lot of like physical work on yourself, Johnny, in the build up to that second fight. Boxing's also quite psychological as well. It's quite an emotional sport as well. So in the build up to that second fight, or just a question more generally, like how do boxers strengthen that psychological?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I didn't really deal with it well. I didn't have a good build up to this fight psychologically. I got cut in the build up. I had just some little things in the background, like medicals and stuff like that, that were all completely fine. But I was dealing with medical doctors, like the board of control are fantastic at what they do, but they just get into getting all this stuff over the line, getting things through, like with the cut as well. That was just stressing me out. Like little things in life were stressing me out. Everything was done, but I'm making sense of it in my own head. I was stressing over things that were already done. I don't know. I just think I had a liking to being stressed at that point. And I think it was just because of what I'd been through in the fight and 2 fights before. I'd had 2 really hard fights, hadn't I? I'd fought in Saudi Arabia with Dave, and then I'd had the loss with Dave. And they were both brutally hard fights. And I just think I didn't give myself time to process what had happened, and the build up psychologically wasn't great. I was stressing. I was training really hard. I was super fit, but sometimes the mental stress and the mental draining that can take away from your performances a little bit, because your energy is going on stressing over things that aren't that important. And I think that first round, getting clipped, that's probably what I needed, because as I was going down, I thought, Johnny, what the hell are you doing here? Like, you're making a mountain out of a molehill here. And we had a change of opponent as well. I was meant to fight Mavutu, who was from Uganda. And he was a certain build. He was about 6'2", 15 stone. And then we get this new guy in 3 days before who's 7-0. And we thought, right, we've got to take it, because it's got to be, we've got, what other choice have we got? The Monaco board won't pass anyone. They won't give you a journeyman. I don't want a journeyman either. But he's meant 6'2" on his box rec. He turns up, he's 6'7". So we've got that little curveball thrown in, and he's got that wiry sort of power, that tall, lanky, Wilder style. He's not Wilder, obviously, but that sort of, them lanky guys have got pack a little punch. And I thought I was just going to walk across the ring in my stressed mind and just absolutely lever him. And I've never really done that. My best knockouts have been when I've been relaxed, and I've levered them because I've been doing things in a relaxed manner, letting my hands go. And the worst thing happens, you get knocked down in round 1. But I gathered my thoughts. I had Chisora and Ben shouting from the side, giving me good advice in terms of holding. I held on for the rest of the round, held on for most of round 2. And then the boxing starts coming through in rounds 3 and 4. And that was that baptism of fire I probably needed to turn a mental corner in my head after the loss. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I suppose what's interesting to me, Johnny, is you saying you were getting stressed out about lots of little things in advance of the fight, which doesn't really seem like you.
I was really stressed.
Like, I've known you for about 2 years now, Johnny, and it doesn't really seem like you. I'm wondering, this is me just like hypothesizing, I'm wondering if you were maybe feeling a pressure going into that fight because 2 losses in a row doesn't look good, right?
Yep.
But you maybe didn't want to admit to yourself, I'm stressed. Right. There's a pressure around that. Therefore, right, I'm going to stress out about all these little things.
You've hit a nail on the head.
Yeah, pretend I'm not worried about that.
You've hit a nail on the head, because the truth is, if you lose 2 fights in a row, where'd you go from there?
Exactly.
Where do you go? Like, you're not going to be the game's brutal. Like, we talk about loyalty in the game, but
2 losses in a row is very hard to come back for.
I'm not a deluded guy. Like, if I can't be fighting on Matchroom in the way that I am if I lose 2 in a row. So maybe I'm stressing over things like, oh, this part of my house isn't painted right, or the radiator's the wrong colour to what I want. Like, literally OCD level stuff. Like, this bit of grouting's wrong on the bathroom. Like, and it was eating up at me. I'm like, and I get home so much, I'm like, what the hell am I stressing about? Because you're putting it all on that. And then on the morning of the fight, I love my mum and dad. They're unbelievable for me. They were feeling the pressure as well. And I was in pretty good headspace. Just went on a little morning walk before the fight, and then I'll see my mum and dad on the walk, and they've been holding it all in as well. Then my dad comes up to me and goes, Johnny, if you lose this, not if you lose this, but along their minds is like, you've got to do this, Johnny. This is you now. There's no going back. Like, this is it. And it's like, don't really need to hear that.
Big John.
Big John. And listen, that's the only time. My dad is he knows me inside out, but I could feel his anxiety for the first time ever. I know he gets nervous, but it's hard for him as well. It's hard for my mum, my family, my brothers as well. my sister at school, the shit that she has to deal with little, sorry, pardon my French, little wankers, with not just me, but with my dad, like giving him shit. Like, that's what pisses me off. People like that, the little people who have small minds, who just talk about other people in negative ways. They're people that I can never have anything in common with. They're not happy with themselves. What I can have in common with is people that are trying to be better and trying to do positive things and do good. And sometimes you do have to be a bit of a wanker to these people who are doing bad in the world, because you can never let bad beat good or evil beat good. So, yeah, a little side note there. But yeah, Big John, you didn't need to do that, but
this podcast is sponsored by Chief Nutrition, and good news, podcast listeners get 10% off all Chief products using the link in the show notes. Chief offer protein powders, collagen protein bars, organic biltong, organic beef bars, and they're all fucking delicious. My personal favorite is the hazelnut brownie collagen protein bar. I have one every afternoon and it is the perfect snack. So use that link in the show notes and thank me later. So you're feeling the stress and the pressure going into this fight, Johnny. You still fucking delivered on the night.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is, despite feeling those very natural human feelings, right? Despite feeling those very natural human feelings, how did you actually overcome them on the night to perform to a level where you actually got the win?
It was funny because I came back from the first round and that Tony was like, John, what are you doing? You haven't done this. Like, in the changing room, it was so good. I was flowing. I was great. I said, what are we doing? But Tony was just calm. He said, John, get back to your rolling. Get back to your little side steps, side to side in the ring, and you'll break him down. And I sort of tried to skip the bit that's important, which is sometimes you've got to lull people in or break them down. Like, he's a 7-0 guy. He's come here. This is his big chance to win on a Matchroom platform on the Zone in Monte Carlo. He's going to be up for it. He fought 2 weeks ago. Like, he was in good shape himself. But yeah, having a calm voice in the corner, that's where the weight of having Tony Sims and John Ryder, who's gone 12 rounds with Canelo with a broken nose from the first round in front of a load of Mexicans in Guadalajara. You had Seltzer, the cut man in the corner, experienced heads. And that is still the one thing that I'm lacking. And it's going to take 20 fights to you to get there, to have your own experience. But I've gained a lot now, but there's still a lot more to gain. But yeah, what got me to that point is having them calming heads in the corner, and Conor Benn and Derek Chisora shouting from the sideline. Yeah, experience. Having experience in your corner is important.
But there must be something again within you, Johnny. Like, we're all going to go through tough periods in our life where we'll be stressed and pressured. We're not necessarily going to have people around us to
calm you down,
to calm us down. So I'm trying to think, like, there must be something within you as well, Johnny. It can't just be those external people. There must have been.
When I went down, I thought, it's not ending tonight.
Yeah,
it's not ending now. Not like this.
So it's self-talk.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it was more like, Johnny, get the fuck up, you stupid. It was like, you stupid clown. What are you doing here? What are you doing? All these people come to watch and you're acting like this. Like, it was almost like you're showing off, like I'm doing something wrong. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? What are you playing at? And it was that self-talk.
Yeah.
It was like, right, do what you fucking know you've got to do. You don't go into an exam and don't do the things that you've been practicing the whole time that you've done it. Well, you can compare it to like going on your driving test or your driving test and then just revving the engine as soon as you go. Like, you don't do that. So I was like, a bit like, you're a stupid bloody idiot. So same thing in Saudi when I went down. But you've got to have the physical fitness to be able to perform that, because if you get caught and then you're not physically fit and you're not conditioned properly, it really is a real thing. You can't then turn that switch or go into that other mode. So good job. You have to prepare in that way. And some of them runs and some of the stuff we were doing, it was horrible, hard training, but your body has to go through that. You have to. And it allowed you to, when you have to make that mental switch or give yourself that self-talk, you're facilitated to do that.
So you knocked him out in the fourth round, Johnny.
Yeah.
Were you more happy or were you more relieved?
Happy. I've been relieved before my debut. I was so relieved because there's pressure on that. Like, a lot of talk then about who this guy is and that. And it was happiness. And it was like, because I knocked him down a few times till we stopped him. So when I first knocked him down, it was a bit of relief, because I know once I've got someone knocked down, I've got a good chance of finishing them off, because I've got good predatory instincts in that way. And then when I knocked him out, it was happiness, like when I stopped it, because I was like, yes, we've done it now. And I was quite happy that I'd given people a show, because you don't want to make people come to Monte Carlo and then it's done in 30 seconds. The guy, Ivan Balaz, or Ivan Balaz, his name is, game guy, and he's a good fighter, so he'll be doing some good things, I hope. And yeah, we gave people a show who come out to watch, which is, at the end of the day, in the world of boxing, exactly what you need to be doing. No one wants to see, unless you're a complete boxing purist, which not many people are. People want to see two heavyweights splattering each other, and I hope I can keep delivering that to people for a good few more years.
Yeah, mate. Well, let's talk about what's next. So over the last couple of months, there's been a lot of rumors around a British title fight. I remember the first time you came on the podcast, you said it would be like the honor of a lifetime for you to fight for the British heavyweight title. What's been going on with this fight?
So I was meant to be fighting in March the 7th it was, and then there was some stuff with Shalom and Eddie, because TKV, who offered the fight to me, with BBC, Eddie's with the Zone, obviously, and it was just a little bit of politics there with them guys above my head. I was locked into camp. It's quite annoying, really, because...
So you were already in camp, sorry, Johnny?
In camp, 4 weeks in camp, sparring partners brought in, paid for, and that's one thing for boxers. If you haven't got your sponsors, you're not getting paid unless you fight at the end of it. So it was frustrating, because it's the British title, the big prize is there. It's a fight that's winnable. It's a hard fight. Jamie TKV is a good boxer, but is he the level of the ones that have had it before, in terms of a Fabio Wardley or Daniel Dubois? Yet to be seen. So you back yourself in that fight. The pressure's not on me in that fight. It's like an opportunity for me there, because I'm not the champion. And it's on and off about 6-7 times. And it's just, that's why I come out here, because there's no point getting stressed over things. Like, I'm never going to be dancing to someone else's tune. I'm a stand-up guy. I'm an honest guy, but I'm never going to be told when and what. I'm not at that stage of my career anymore. Right? I'm not that bothered if it's going to happen or not, because I know I've got my fan base, and I've got my profile, and I've got my ability to entertain. It'll be there when I get back. And a couple of days before I come out here, I get offered again to fight for that belt, and I was already mentally checked out. I said, just give me a call when we come back. And ever since then, it's never been so busy in terms of being rung up and being spoke about. I don't want to go into massive detail about what it is and stuff, because it's all business stuff, which is to do with Matchroom, my promoters. They've got to be spoken to, and it's got to go through them. And that's what we've got to contend with in a minute. But at the minute, I'm just here in the sunshine, enjoying Bondi Beach. So that's all that's on my mind right now.
Mate, for someone like me, who's just like a boxing fan, who just wants to see, really good fights between good fighters being made, it just feels like behind the scenes, it's really complex to get these fights arranged. Like for me, I can't sit here and understand why over the course of the last 5 years, like Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury haven't fought each other, like two fantastic British heavyweight boxers. That would be an unbelievable fight.
Unbelievable.
But like it just feels like it's a bit murky behind the scenes, and no one really knows why that fight can't be made. Similar, like you want to fight for the British heavyweight title. Like, why is it so complicated? Why can't that fight
because
be
of
made?
people ego? Boxing is the epitome of people being involved in a sport because of their ego. People want to say, I made this. When you go to a boxing match, sometimes you've got people that suddenly, or when you put it on the telly in a pub, everyone's the biggest expert on how to fight and how to do this. And it's not as easy as that, lads or ladies, whoever's talking about it. But ego gets in the way, as it does with many of the great people in history. But yeah, it is frustrating. And for the first time in my career, I was sort of like, I love boxing, but I don't like this. Like, this isn't how I am. It's the first time it's properly happened to me. I've had a really good run of it, really. It's been easy. Everything's been done properly, and it's been easy to make fights. But for the first time, I was like, I'm not in the game for this. Right? This is not what I'm in it for. So take yourself away, refresh. Let the people that are in power do what they need to do. But my job, as you said, I just want to give people good nights of boxing. I want to entertain people. I'm not saying I'm going to be the next coming of Ali or the next Sugar Ray Leonard, but I'll give people a good night out. and I'll give them something to look forward to, and I'll give them some good fights. And at my best, I'll give anyone a good fight for a period of it. So just let me do that. I don't want to be involved in all of that. If I wanted to be involved in that, I never would actually. So yeah, I never would want to be involved in that side of it. So yeah.
It's part of the issue that there's just so many different people behind the scenes. You need to get aligned on a deal.
problem.
Like you've got the manager, the promoter, and the network
You've got the
on
network.
both sides.
Yeah.
And you need essentially like
And then you've
6
got
different parties to
The
all
hardest
agree.
part should be the two fighters to agree.
Yeah.
Because the trainers and what stage of their career they're at. And it's not saying that anyone's at any fault, but you're right. They've got DAZN will have Match will have an obligation to DAZN. Shalom will have an obligation to his networks, and there's other promoters as well who've got their own things. And yeah, and there's always stuff going on behind the scenes, and you never really know who to trust or what to do. So all you can do is stick to your close team and take yourself out of the situation. Sometimes that's the best bet.
So which is what you've done now.
I've done that.
There's still a chance that this fight can get
probably
made?
not now. No, probably not on the date that they want, but there's a big chance it will happen. I will fight for the British title at some point, 100%. If I carry on in the same vein, whether that's in late summer or the end of the year. It probably does me a favour that it's not so soon, because it was a bit rushed, but you take the opportunity while it's there. I could do with having another 3-4 fights, building that experience up and gelling with Tony Sims a little bit more. I've only had one fight with Tony, but we said, like, and that's what gave me confidence as well. Tony said, it's a fight we can win, and we've got to take this chance if it's there. But I believe what's meant for you will come to you. So if it's 6 months down the line, if it's 2 years down the line, who knows? I'll be 29, 30 in a better position. So no problem.
So what's the life of a boxer like, Johnny, when there is no fight to aim for? You've not got anything booked in. Like how do you balance training and staying on top of your fitness with not necessarily overdoing it?
It's like doing things like this. Like, I love going away and seeing different parts of the world and being with your brothers, being with your family. And you know as well, Chris, for someone who's active, training will never not be a part of your life. You want to do it. Maybe after a really hard, brutal training camp, you don't want to train for a few weeks, but after a while, you want to get back into it. You want to do a little run. You want to pump the weight. So it's just nice to, when you're locked in for so long, just to have the best thing about boxing is that feeling afterwards when you can mentally decompress and your brain just goes to wherever it wants to go. I love cricket. I love simple things in life. Walking the dog, playing cricket on my Xbox, or playing a bit of Call of Duty and little things like that. Going to Wimpy or going to the Chinese and just having a chat, or going up you really take for granted when you're in training camp, going out for a meal with your mum and dad or with your friends, or going to the pub and having a Diet Coke. It's just the simple things in life are the best, because when you're in them dark, dreary training camps, it gets hard. But even in the training camps, the way you get through them is telling yourself what a privilege it is to be able to push your body to this absolute extreme. And many people would dream of being in a position I'm in. There's boxers out there on small hall circuit shows who aren't getting paid anything, and they're doing all this for the love of the game. So I'm in a privileged position, and I owe it to myself and to the people that are involved in boxing to enjoy this as well. But yeah, in answer to your question, enjoying the small things, as Chris Hoy said earlier in the thing, enjoying the small things, going out to a restaurant and having some food cooked for you that you shouldn't have really ate a few weeks ago. You couldn't eat 3 weeks ago. You can go and have a bit of curry sauce and chime in. That's all it is for me. Family time and enjoying the simple pleasures of life.
Yeah. I said there actually incorrectly, Johnny, that you don't have any big fights or challenges booked in the diary. That's not quite true.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury has called Tyson Fury's called the Fisher family out to all you can eat Chinese.
Well, this is one fight he definitely can't win, because we have got a massive juggernaut called Big John loaded up. And yes, he might have Shane Fury, he might have Tommy Fury, he might have Big John Fury, who are titans of men compared to William, me and Henry, but we'll save it in the locker with the juggernaut Big John.
So tell me about how you found out about this, Johnny. You were actually traveling
I was on the plane.
Australia?
I got off at Singapore and I just saw, whoa, it was all blowing up. My phone was off. I didn't get the Wi-Fi. I thought I was just not going to get on the Wi-Fi. And I get off the plane. I'm like, who's calling that? I'm fighting Tyson Fury now. And then I get off and it's like, no, thank God it's just Chinese. I actually said in the reply when he tagged us in, I said, as long as it's a Chinese fight and not a fist fight, we might have a chance here. But yeah, it'll be good fun. They're talking about it now. There's a lot of people in the comments and people DMing saying, we'll do it here, we'll do this, we'll do that. That prize guy who, Northern Ireland lads want to get involved in it some way, which we'll try and do. And it'll be exciting. We get on well with the Furies. I sparred Fury obviously back in the day when he fought Wilder the third time. Met John Fury. I know Tommy Fury on the circuit as well. Shane Fury as well. A lot of time for Shane. He's a great voice in Tyson Fury's ear, and as his brother. And got a lot of time for all of them. They're top gentlemen.
Yeah. So is it, it's 4-on-4? So it's your dad, you, and your two brothers versus Big John Fury, Tyson Fury, Tommy Fury, and Shane Fury?
I reckon Shane Fury. I think it's got to be 4v4. But they've got more brothers than that. I think there's
got Huey and stuff as well.
Yeah, got Huey, his cousin. Yeah, there's so many.
So how's it going to work?
Roman Fury as well.
How's it going to work in practice? Like, what are the rules? Do we know yet?
I think we'll do it at the Blue Orchid on home territory.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Are we going to go expansive with the dishes, or is it just going to be simple? It could be a chicken ball competition.
Is it all you can eat?
All you can eat. I think. Is there going to be a time limit? None of the rules have been set out yet. I need to know these rules because I'm not so much the fast eater, and neither's my dad. We're marathon eaters.
Zone 2.
Yeah, Zone 2 aerobic base runners eating. So yeah, we'll be in the aerobic base zone 2. If it's a sprint finish, I think they might have a chance. But if it's long, they ain't got a chance.
Yeah. Ever in any chatter about you having a fight with a Fury? Like, I'm thinking like Tommy's a heavyweight, Huey's a heavyweight.
To be honest, there's always chat about these sort of things. People asking me fighting this one, fighting that one, but I know the position I'm in. I'm not blinkered. It's a numbers game at the end of the day as well. I've got 280,000 followers. Fury's both of them have got millions and millions. And regardless of that, I've got too much respect for them to then be starting call. That's not my way to start calling out Tyson Fury and Tommy Fury. That's just not the way I am.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that Tyson's asked me again to be in his training camp for his fight coming up with Makhmudov. Yeah. He texted me, said, "You're only in Singapore. Come over to Thailand." But he didn't obviously realise that I'm going to Australia. But maybe on the way back, we could grab a few rounds. But yeah, Tommy Fury as well. I've got so much time for him. He's a top bloke. And I'm just happy to be someone who I can, if I send them a message on Instagram, they'll reply and they'll say happy days, or they'll ask me to get involved. So that's a privilege in itself.
How good are the Tyson Fury training videos in Thailand where he's like running around the streets in Thailand with the big boombox?
Yeah, he's got the boombox on. But he said it right. Like, sometimes getting away and training in the sunshine is so good for you.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I love England. It'll always be my home and I'll always stay there. But the weather's not been fucking good the last few weeks. It's been awful, and it does put you in a bit of a bad mood. We just want a bit of sunshine, but hopefully we're coming to that now. When the Six Nations kicks off and comes to an end, we know spring's around the corner. So yeah, he's done the right thing going over to Thailand. I think it puts you in a good frame of mind.
Talk to me about John Fury versus Carl Froch.
I think it's just a bit of stupid promotion of the fight. I was there. I was at the press conference. I could hear it all going on. I was downstairs at the time, and I thought, "What's all this?"
Where did it come from?
Carl Froch calling out, or probably saying some stuff on his YouTube channel and
about Tyson Fury or John Fury?
Tyson or John. But I think it's just a nice little ploy to get people talking about the fight, because John Fury going around saying I'm the ultimate male like Thunder Lips from Rocky 3 is quite funny. When Lennox Lewis and Carl Froch are standing up there, they know what they're doing. The world is a stage, as they say, and yeah, maybe, who knows, it might even be on the old undercard. Carl Froch, John Fury. I think a few people would tune in to watch that, wouldn't they?
100%. Has anyone, have we got any footage of John Fury boxing? Like,
yeah, he fought. I've seen videos of him fighting Henry Akinwande back in the day. He was a top level guy. Got stopped by him. But yeah, to be in the ring with Henry Akinwande, you've got to be able to hold your hands up a little bit. So
yeah.
I don't know how old he is now. He's approaching 60, I think. So might not be good to be called out the Cobra, who's still relatively fresh as a 40-year-old. So still, I think people would tune in to watch it.
Oh, I'm 100% going to tune in to watch it.
Yeah. The ultimate male, John Fury. But
yeah. And then the other drama sort of in the boxing world at the minute, Johnny, is Conor Benn leaving Matchroom and Eddie, who you're signed with, and going to Dana White's new promotion. As I said, you're obviously with Eddie. The rumours are sort of Connor did it over, it was kind of all done through lawyers and over text. There wasn't a
Yeah.
face-to-face.
Um,
Thoughts on that?
I don't know, and we all don't know what the real situation is. Obviously, I'm with Matchroom. I'm Matchroom Fighter as it stands, and there's ways of conducting yourself as a human. If Connor, I know Connor well. If it is over email and it's the way that Eddie has described it, that's obviously not the right way to do it. You should meet someone face to face, or at least give them a call. But I don't know if that is what's happened, and who knows? I've not really heard Connor Ben's side of the story. It might have been that there was a matching rights clause was put in, because so when you leave a promoter or you've got to deal with them, they not normally put a matching rights clause. So just say someone, for example, offers you £1 million. If Eddie offers you £1 million in return to that offer and matches it, you stay with Eddie. It might be the case that Connor's offered him the matching rights and said this is the offer, and Eddie's not been willing, or the zone not been willing to put the money up, and Connor's gone and done what he thought's best for him. But what's best for him is not the same as what's best for me or for the next person. And we don't know how it's been handled. I've seen Connor's come out and said, I'd love Eddie to still be part of my team. So it's like politics as well in the world of government and stuff. We never really know what's going on. So I think the best policy is not to comment, and I hope they can work it out, because it's been a winning partnership, Ben and Hearn's, all the way back to Nigel. So yeah, I hope it can all be worked out.
You mentioned government there, Johnny. Like, sitting over here in Australia, we're getting a lot of like negative news flow about how things are in the UK at the minute. A lot of issues with how the country's being run. You're like boots on the ground over in England at the minute. Like, what's going on for someone over here who's a bit far removed from it? Like, what's going on in the UK at the minute? There's a lot of disharmony amongst the public.
And what you find is when you walk the streets, there's no disharmony. There might be instances like there always have been in decades of England and London especially, but the disharmony is all on people's phones when they're sitting in their living rooms disagreeing with each other. And when you take a step back from it, it's the most stupid fucking thing in the world. People are they're on one side of the fence, and these people on the other side of the fence. And I used to be quite conservative figure, like right wing on this and this side of it when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. But as I've grown up, what I've realised is left wing, right wing, it don't really matter. It literally, what we arguing over here, I don't really even know anymore. And politics is a world and a realm that I don't want to be involved in, because you look at the politicians on the left, you look at the politicians on the right, and all they're doing is saying a load of bollocks that never gets followed through. And they're saying, these are the bad guys, they're the bad guys, they're promising this, they get in, they never do it. But all it's doing is adding to a hysteria where left-wingers and right-wingers, or people on this ideology and that ideology, are at loggerheads with each other. But when you break it down, what do people really want? They want a roof over their heads, they want a good job that can earn them some money, and they want to have a good quality of life. And I think people on the left and right both agree with that. But what the answers is, I don't know, and I don't profess to know. And people that do profess to know need to shut up, because they don't. I just think we should stay out of people's lives as much as we can. But some people aren't in that position where they have that luxury of being able to have politics stay out of their life, which I understand as well. But politics is a difficult one. I don't know what the answers are.
Yeah.
And this harmony you're talking about, there's always clips going around of violent views and people in, whether that be in Manchester or London, but I don't think there's ever been a time where it's not been like that. I mean, I think back to the riots in 2011 when people were smashing up shops. There's always stuff like that. There's the arguments with the migrant crisis and stuff like that, and people saying we're going to get rid of these people and that people, but talking about the boats, but the boats is literally a tiniest percentile of people that are over here. Yes, it's illegal. They shouldn't be here, and they shouldn't be wherever it is getting the ability to come in and infiltrate. But if you're worried about immigration, be worried about the millions of people that have come in since 2010 or whenever it is. But people's hopes and aspirations and grievances are often misplaced, and they're drawn up and hyped up by social media and politicians. So a lot of hatred and resentment and grievance is often misplaced by people and what they say online.
Feels like a bit of a perfect storm at the minute, like sitting again over in Australia. Like, what I can kind of tell is grievance with the immigration policy and
Yep.
the migrants coming in, grievances with the crime rate in London, lots of people having their bags and their phones swiped walking through the street, and then cost of living as
The
well. So it
cost of
feels like
living.
a perfect storm.
I think when you start damaging people's ability to have a sense of income or their personal wealth, that's when things really get bad. Through history, you look at that. When you start attacking people's pockets, that's when all of these instances become heightened. And that's the real crux of it, I think. And on the migrant crisis, yes, of course, no one should be here illegally. I don't think anyone's arguing that. And it's not right what's happening, but I'm from a traditional English background, but I don't prescribe to the way some people are acting on our side as well as the traditional English side of it. But I don't know what the answers are because I'm not someone who's in the know of how everything's going on, and I don't profess to be. I just know that if people sat around and had a Chinese together a little bit more, that side and that side would get on a little bit better. I'm fed up of trying to
They'd argue about chicken balls versus like spring rolls, wouldn't they?
Let's argue about that stuff. But in the bottom line of it, I'm trying to be as apolitical as I possibly can. If you're a good person, you're a good person. I don't care what you believe.
Yeah.
I can get on with you. Trying to make people subscribe a certain way. I don't know. I don't know what the answers are, Chris. It's confusing. I'm trying to give you the formulaic answer or the perfect answer, but politics and grievance will always be a thing, and it feels like the world is in a precarious position right now, but I won't profess to tell you how to make it better.
I was just curious, mate, because I said sitting over here in Australia, a lot of the news flow is quite negative. I wanted to just check in with someone who's obviously living
think when
there.
you go out and about in England, when you go up London, I've been up London multiple times since I came here. There's no problems, there's no issues, but I won't pretend that there aren't issues going on, because there are, but I won't also say that these issues haven't been going on for decades. I think people stealing phones, people getting stabbed, that's been happening since my granddad was a young boy. So, yeah, I don't know what the answers are.
Fair enough, mate. We'll veer off politics now. Sorry for taking us down that.
Down the old down that question time.
Yeah, exactly. Or Big John on Newsnight.
Yeah, that's it. Bosh, Prime Minister.
Could you imagine?
No.
Johnny, like, what's next, mate? So you obviously, well, we've sort of talked about what's next. We're trying to get this British title fight down the line.
Yeah.
You talked earlier in the podcast about, you were down here, you're here now, you think you can get to here. Where does here look like? Does that look like, I think you're ranked number 12 in the sort of British heavyweights. Does that look like sort of pushing into more middle of that top 10?
After the Saudi fight, I was ranked 11th by the WBO. I was like, this is just crazy in the world.
In the world?
Yeah, I was like, this is probably where I was moving so quick. I was like, it's probably done me a favour just to slow down a little bit. But in terms of where I am in boxing, the pinnacle for me at the minute would be a British title. But once you win a British title, that opens up so many doors, and there's opportunities there for Europeans and Commonwealths. But that's got to be my pinnacle, my aim, to be at that British title, which I know I can win. It's feasible and it's tangible. In terms of life, the goals in life, there are material goals. Of course, everyone has them. I won't profess to think that people don't want to earn a good living. I want to earn good money. I do. I want to live. I've got a nice house now at the minute. I'd love to have a little cottage in the Cotswolds or down in Devon and Cornwall. That would be amazing. But for me, I'm more and more realising that life isn't about material things. It really isn't. I could come to Bondi, and if I weren't here with my brothers, it'd be absolutely 10 times worse. It's about being able to have quality time with the people that you love, your family, your friends. They are the tangible things in life that you should be working towards, building good relationships with people. And yeah, enjoying the moment. That is what I want to do, and I'm getting there. I'm enjoying it. Enjoy the fact that we're sitting in the podcast with a nice fan blowing on us, talking about politics and trying to put the world to right, and yeah, being grateful for what you have. I think that's an important thing, and I don't want to try and sound like I'm a hippie, because I'm not. I like material things as well, but trying to be more grateful and living in them now. That's what's important to me right now.
And what about the love life, mate? How does that sort of marry up with trying to do as best as you can as a professional boxer?
It's hard. It's hard because I'm not I just don't think at this stage of my life being in a relationship is going to be a good thing for me. I thought it was for a time, and it's just not. I think my focus has got to be fully on boxing for this next few years, and it's not fair on someone to keep them tagging along and or in the back seat of that. When it feels right, it will feel right, and at the minute, if I'm being honest with myself, it doesn't feel right. So, yeah, not like I could pull any birds in anyway, because they're all a bit too high maintenance or a little bit too up there for me. But yeah,
Mate, if you shaved the mullet in and just cut it down to a moustache, you'd probably have a better chance.
I might be a little bit of a better chance, but I think they can scream. It screams like I'm from Romford at the minute, so no one's interested. So yeah, no one fancies coming for a B2 special at the Blue Orchid right now.
Mate, there's nothing wrong with Romford.
No, there's nothing. Romford is home. Romford always will be home. And yeah, Romford is real. We keep it real always.
Johnny, beautiful place to leave it today, mate. Thank you for coming in. First guest that's done 3 times in the podcast, mate.
Thank you, buddy. Cheers.
Thank you, mate.